For once, I actually felt like kind of waking up this morning. And just for context, this is at the end of the day. And I thought it'd be nice to just kind of speak to the camera just for me to kind of have almost like a journal entry, but also just to get into the practice of speaking and trying to get my words out in a better succinct way. And for me to also look back on it and see like where I was and how I could speak and do better, because sometimes we don't realize like that we're kind of bad at speaking or that we're kind of bad at something until we kind of look at it from an objective view. And by filming, this is how I'm getting like an objective view of it, but also like I'm just kind of reflecting and making up things on the fly, I guess. And you know, with YouTube, I really am starting to find that we're not made for this kind of online world. Like, it's super stimulating. Like, the more that I've been getting back into meditation and stuff, which is something else that I go back into, because I've been in a pretty bad spot this year for a while, but now I'm like coming out of it, and it's like so crazy to see that the actions that you do have such a massive impact on how you feel. Like, it has such a massive karmic impact. Like, literally the things you do can impact how you feel and how you think and all those kind of things. But you know, of course it sucks to do those things, and we kind of know deep down, but it's hard to do. Like, the decision to make it is hard to commit to, it's hard to do, you know, like especially when you've built up the habit of just like ignoring it and like numbing it out with video games or food or porn or, you know, all these kind of different things, like whatever it is for you. Those are the things that it would for me, and gaming. And where was I going to go before the end of this? Yeah, so I'm in a decent spot at the moment, but I realised with the online world that we're really not made for it. It's like super stimulating. And I just realised, like, after, for example, when I would play FIFA, I feel so like razzled and so like uptight and kind of rigid, and like my adrenal system seemed to be really, really going. And I know that I've had a problem with kind of anxiety and kind of kidney problems, which are also associated with kind of the adrenals and being in kind of that anxiety state. And with meditating, you know, like really calms you down, which has been really good for me, because even though I seem quite calm, I feel like I'm almost a lot of the time in kind of like this fight or flight, or kind of like this uptight kind of high energy place. And that's really draining to be in. And you know, that's had an impact on so many things in my life, in being consistent, in being able to connect with people, in being able to meet people, in having like good relationships with people, and holding my ground and thinking of what I actually want, and being strong in that, and not being misled by others, and kind of just following along the flow and doing whatever others wanted. And that's another point that I want to make, is that I realized, like, I thought that my life was kind of going well. Like, about a month ago, I was like, oh yeah, I could just continue just doing this work and just kind of meandering along, kind of doing these kind of workouts, and just, you know, just gaming, and then in the afternoon spending my free time just watching TV shows or whatever. And then I just kind of realized, like, oh, I don't really feel fulfilled, like something doesn't feel right. And I was just kind of doing whatever was popping up, whatever was kind of in front of me, you know. And I realized, like, with my jobs that I'm doing, I didn't go out to seek them. Like, I was lucky enough to have the opportunities kind of handed to me, and I was just like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll take it. But if that's the kind of energy that I go into life with, if that's the kind of way that I live my life, then I'm just kind of coasting along, going with the flow. And you know, that sounds nice, it sounds like real hip and cool, but it's not fulfilling for me. It's just like, oh, I've just kind of been doing these things because other people have given me these opportunities, and I'm just like, meh, whatever, it's good enough. Oh my god, has this been in? No way. If that wasn't in. let's think of today. Yeah, as I said, I woke up actually wanting to get up. Like, I'd been oversleeping my alarm, and all those kind of things, and kind of not wanting to take a cold shower, and just making up excuses for these kind of things. And I've just realized, like, you got to think long term. Like, you may fail in the moment, you may fail at that day or that week or whatever. You may not get up to the expectations that you want, but the most important thing is just showing up and doing the things that you want to do, and just keep going at it and keeping it at the front of your mind, but not being so judgmental, like, fuck, I messed that up, I'm such a loser. Like, I used to do that all the time, and then like my state would just be like this, super high, anxious, and then like, oh yeah, I'm on it, I'm doing it, I'm doing lots. And that's not really like a great way to live. Like, you got to be conscious about it, because if you act consciously, then you're going to evolve consciously. If you act unconsciously, you're going to evolve unconsciously. And that's kind of what I was saying with the work. Like, I was just acting unconscious. I was not even there. I was just kind of doing whatever, And I may as well have been like a robot. Like, I wasn't really living a life. I was just kind of there filling in space. And for me, that's not very fulfilling. And it's hard to kind of explain how this has come together and how I've gone from such a dark place to coming here, but I definitely think that just taking actions onto things that were good for my health, like just going on walks, just waking up earlier. As soon as I wake up earlier, I tend to have a better day, and working out in the morning and doing something productive like that. Even if I ended up gaming for most of the day, the rest of the day, or ate bad, overall, it would be a positive impact. And these things kind of build on each other, and you've got to be kind of patient with it, which is like a hard thing to kind of think about when you're in it. Because when you're in the depths of kind of that despair and just like kind of numbing yourself and blocking yourself off from these kind of things, which is another thing that I've learned from, like, I just started going back into Qigong, which sounds like this hippie hoo-ha, whatever, blah, 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 Chinese kind of thing. But for me, I find it so beneficial to like get into my body and feel it, because I unconsciously just get tense, and that's all about just like relaxing. And as soon as you kind of like relax, you can feel a lot more, and then you can move a lot faster. Like, looking back at some of my soccer photos and just wondering why I was like not good at it, and why when I was training by myself, like, I had a great touch, I was pretty good at finishing, I'd done so much work on it, but in the game I would just be so tense and like rigid that like my muscles wouldn't be able to move and go fast, because if you're rigid, you can't go as fast as if you're relaxed. That was like aggressive kind of like martial arts, like, oh, look at me, I'm like freaking Jackie Chan. So it's like the end of the night. That's like what my internal dialogue is like. Like, if you ever wonder what's going on in my head, or why I like, some people just see me smiling, like I won't talk for ages, no, they'll just see me smiling and they'll be like, what? And that's what's going on in my head. So if you ever wonder why, that's because that's the kind of things that are happening in my head, okay? So I just kind of wanted to do this update. I think I'll aim to do this at least weekly, but it'd be great to do it daily. But I think at the moment, with how my life is, it'd be easy to do weekly. So yeah, that's life. What have I been focusing on? So waking up early for me, 5:30. Making sure I meditate. I've been weighing myself and tracking my food because I want to gain weight, and I found that such a massive thing for building muscle. Like, I feel like I'd eat so much in a day, and then on my fitness palette it'd be like, not even enough to like have my base level. Like, just having that kind of reference has made such an impact, and doing that daily has just kind of been like this goal. And even though it's tough, you know, I've definitely been gaining weight and gaining muscle, and with my body type, like, I'm very much leaning towards, like, I think it's ectomorph, where I'm just like very leaner. People really hate that because everybody wants to be skinnier, but I was always this skinny, kind of small, just really kind of weak kind of kid, I guess. And that's kind of stuck with me. Like, it's so weird when I've played soccer this year and like, oh, get on the big guy, the big baldy, get on him, like whatever. That's just kind of weird to me, because I was like always this kind of skinny, weak, smaller, like insecure kid, and I guess that will always kind of be in me. But I've kind of changed that, you know, like I've grown, and even though I've grown, even though I look bigger and I look better and I look more confident or whatever, there's still kind of that insecurity in me. And I think that's something that people don't really talk about enough. They're like, oh, once you get the body, then you're going to get all the chicks, and then you're going to get all the confidence and that kind of thing. And sure, it does help, but it's not the only thing. And if you're trying to get a better body to fix an insecurity, then it's only going to exacerbate it and make it worse. Yeah, wow. I'm just like thinking like, oh, I'm so smart now. It's just so amazing. Am I Einstein reborn or something? Oh my god. That's enough. Alright, I think that's enough for this video. But yeah, I've been working out. Oh my god. Basically, a brief overview. I'm just trying to take care of my health, trying to meditate more, concentrate on gaining muscle and keeping fit. Also starting to play more soccer now. And yeah, I find that whenever I add soccer into my life, it's just been something that's been a big part of my life. And whether it's just like the ingrained habit of all of my past good memories and habits, and just once it kind of locks into my life, and having all of the kind of everything that I've learned and being able to put it together, like, oh, if I'm going to be doing soccer, then I've got to be eating well, I've got to be sleeping well, it's better if I meditate, and then everything just kind of seems to get better, you know, like all boats rise to the level of the tide, or whatever, level of the water or whatever, you know, so once the levels rise, all of the boats rise with it. Yeah. And for me, that's just something that's important to me. I can't really explain why. It's not like sure, I'd like to play professional and be paid to do that, but that for me, that was a goal. And as soon as I made that the goal, it would kind of ruin it for me, because I felt so far behind it. Whereas I just love being able to take care of my body. I love being able to jump and run and play the sport and be able to have something to work out, and to work on something for so long, like work on this skill, and then it works out in a game. It's just kind of really beautiful to see, and it's something that I can't get anywhere else, and it just makes me focus on my body and my health so much more, and my whole life just seems to get a lot better whenever I kind of have it in there, and I kind of have it as this focus or this priority. So I'm going to see how that goes. You know, whether that's just like because it's the past ingrained kind of thing, it's habitual and I'm just used to it, or whether it's like actually the clarity and the pursuit that it gives me in some sort of purpose or meaning or whatever. But I just know that it definitely makes my life feel better, even though I don't feel like doing it at times. Like, the actions that you do definitely have an impact on how you feel. Like, I'd feel bad and then I'd game, and then it was like, oh, do I feel bad because I'm gaming, or do I feel bad and then I game? And I think it's a bit of both, you know. I feel bad, so then I game, and then I feel bad because I'm doing it for so long, and then I eat bad food because then I feel bad, and then I have bad negative views on it, and it just kind of creates this kind of whole negative cycle. And all that's needed is just one step in the other direction, like, oh, I'm going to take a step outside, or I'm going to just sit down and sit with myself for a while, or maybe I'm going to watch a productive, kind of more positive YouTube video or something, which would just kind of put me in a different kind of direction. Yeah, I think this has gone on long enough. Thank you for watching if you did, especially if you got this far through all my shenanigans, and yeah. See you in the next video. Peace.